This is the Cool Kids Film Club Podcast. Watch films with us.
Well, the intro was going to be me shaving my head, but I'm not going to now, am I? Because it's going to take too long.
When you shave your pubes.
I'm not sure that'll make entertaining TV.
Shaving your head would.
Yeah. Well, it references a scene of the opening of the film, the opening of the podcast, Gavin. It makes perfect sense. I also debated completely just filming this in real fucked up order and keep flashbacking, and I still might in the edit. This might be the last thing I show. Welcome to the Cool Kids Film Club Podcast. I am Trevor Webb, and this guy right here is the person who picked this week's film. It's Gavin Ryes. Gavin Ryes, say hi.
Right.
Great. These bi-weekly podcasts, I feel like they're so long apart now, don't they?
Well, that's because this one would be tri-weekly.
Has it been 3 weeks since a record?
Yes.
Wow. It does feel like a long time. What have you been up to?
Well, I watched the film over a week ago, thinking that we were going to film last Sunday, you see. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been waiting for the call from you to film. Nothing else.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's Euros, though, Gavin. Like, we're recording pretty much smack bang right in the middle of match day 2 and match day 3 of the Euros. How are you finding it so far?
Well, England always get nil point, don't they? So I don't really watch the Eurovision Song Contest. Don't like it, really.
Right. How about the Euros football competition?
Oh, yeah, that's been good, hasn't it? I've been watching that.
Yeah, it has.
I won lots of bets. Lots.
Yeah?
For a little bit, I just couldn't lose.
Nice. It's a bit like England. England are doing brilliant. And I actually got tickets to the game on Friday at Wembley, England versus Scotland. Did you watch the match?
Yeah, I watched it at home. You were there, were you?
I was right in the crowd. Yeah, I was there. And it was superb. England played brilliantly. Kane with a hat-trick. Played brilliantly throughout. I really like the attacking way the team are playing. They've got just for one defensive midfielder, and they're really clicking and playing really well. And I think England may have a real chance this year.
Well, good for you. I agree.
Well, what's that face for?
I'm wondering if maybe you were watching Euro 96 by mistake.
Harry Kane, he was there. He did a hat trick, didn't he? Grealish started the match. He started both matches, actually, which was a surprise because a lot of people didn't think Southgate would do that. But he started Grealish in both matches, and he assisted all 3 goals. It was a great match.
Well, jokes aside, when Grealish did come on, he was crap anyway.
I don't know what you mean by jokes aside, but Grealish is great, and he's the 3 assists speak for itself. So
cool. Yeah. All right.
So we could talk about football, couldn't we? Over the last probably 2 weeks or however long the Euros have been on, I've watched every match except for the Spain match, Spain versus Poland, and that was because I had to watch Our Sunday. So I'm holding you accountable for me missing out on some football.
Well, you didn't watch all the games today.
Fuck! I've just ruined what the film is.
Oh.
It's our
Did you watch
Sunday.
both games at the same time today then?
Yeah. I was at both, so.
All right.
Yeah, so I've already ruined what the film is. It's Our Sunday, chosen by Gavin Ryes. We'll have that come up on the screen right about now. It was your pick, wasn't it, Gavin? Do you want to tell us about the film?
Well, yes, I picked it even though I hadn't seen it. But I'm a big Denis Villeneuve fan. I mean, he's probably one of the most exciting directors working at the moment with Sicario, which I actually didn't like. Watched that with you.
Yeah, terrible.
I wouldn't go as far as to say terrible, but
Boring.
Yeah, I did find that boring. But he's made probably the best sci-fi in recent years with Arrival. He made Blade Runner, what is that called? 2049, which is brilliant. And that's a good accomplishment because I'm the one person who doesn't like the original. I think the original's rubbish. And I've tried it 3 times now. Prisoners, brilliant. Enemy, brilliant. I haven't seen Polytechnique. But yes, Denis Villeneuve, brilliant director. And this film is Incendies from 2010. It's about a pair of twins whose mother has just died, and they are given within her will 2 letters to give, one to their brother who they've never met and one to their father who they've never met, and only then can their mother be given a proper burial.
And up until this point, she wants to be buried naked, face down, without a gravestone or anything. Just
That's it.
What did you think of these dying wishes from her mother when you were watching the film for the first time? Not upon reflection now, but at the time.
I thought maybe there'd be some sort of mental issues with the mother, and that was what the film was going to follow. Maybe her life and how she came to have mental issues, but no, I wasn't too sure where it was going at this point.
No. If you were in that situation and you were asked to do this, how would you react?
Well, it depends. If I had to go to like the Middle East or something, I'd probably just be like, it's all right, don't worry about it. She can stay without a gravestone. Doesn't bother me. I'm not big on like burials and stuff as far as I'm concerned. When I die, to quote Frank from Always Sunny, just throw me in the trash.
But that would be your dying wish. That would be what is done with you.
It's not my dying wish. It's just the easiest thing. If you want to hang me up in the bedroom, you can. If you want to, get those straws from McDonald's where you take off the end bit and blow the packaging at me, you can do that. If you want to strip me and finally see what my willy looks like, you can do that if you want, Trevor. I don't care.
Like I've never seen your willy, Gavin. But I do want to take you back to, you said, if you want to hang me up in your bedroom. How do you mean?
Yeah, if you want.
Do you just...
I don't know. This is whatever you want to do. I'm just giving you suggestions, like on the front of like Findus crispy pancakes. They give you serving suggestions, don't they? With like, you can have them with carrots, you can have them with peas, you could have me in the bedroom on your wall, or just in the bin.
Fair enough. You're quite easy to please. Once you're dead, you don't really give a monkeys.
No, I don't. Not really.
Fair enough. But if somebody else has dying wishes, a family member, and they had dying wishes, would you feel comfortable not completing those wishes?
It depends how hard they were, how much work I had to do.
Well, going to the Middle East and tracking down your father, who you thought was dead, and your brother who you didn't know existed.
Nah. Nah.
No?
Not the Middle East. It's a bit scary there, isn't it?
I feel I would go. I think if it's their dying wish, you've got to do it. There would always be that part of me that's just kind of, oh, for fuck's sake, she's still face down, no tombstone. I should probably maybe sort that out.
It's her own fault. She could have put in the will, I'll have a tombstone and everything will be nice. She's set up the challenge herself.
To be fair, when we do get onto the big final reveal, I do want to question her motivations somewhat, but we'll get onto that later. So
the film opens with a nice bit of Radiohead. Always good. I know you're a big fan.
Radiohead, I don't dislike Radiohead. They did Creep, which I love. Great song. I don't like many of their songs, but
Creep, probably their worst ever song.
no, great song. Used to love that. In the pub in my village that I grew up in, they had a jukebox, and it only had 2 songs on it that I liked. Radiohead, Creep, and Placebo, Nancy Boy. So I used to put those 2 songs on a lot.
If I remember rightly, Nancy Boy's like really short, isn't it? You're not getting good value for your money there.
Yeah, well, it's better than all the rest of the crap that was on there.
I always remember our local pub. It was the first place to get one of those jukeboxes where you can like go on the internet and just pick whatever song you wanted. And I put like a 37-minute Godspeed You Black Emperor song on and left.
And left. I mean, I don't blame you for leaving, but you like them, so why?
Because it was quite a rough pub and I didn't want any issues, so I left. I left them with the issues. Fair
enough. So we learn about the mother's wishes in a scene at the will reading. We've pretty much gone over what that entails. The 2 children are Jean and Simon. Probably pronounced wrong, but they're twins, and they are the ones at the will hearing. Jean is very much me. She's up for going on this little hunt. And then Simon's very much you, isn't he? He's like, nah.
No,
fuck it.
He's not very much me, because he's like, this is silly. I want my mother to have a thing. Whereas I'm just like, nah, you're all right. Can't be bothered. He still cares. He wants to have a gravestone and that, but he doesn't want to go through all this silly business.
So are you saying, say someone you care about's died, you don't even want to give them a gravestone and stuff?
Not if they're not going. If they specifically said they don't want one, that's their fault.
I don't feel the mother in this stated that she didn't want one. In fact, she set these tasks so that she felt she could deserve one finally. She wanted one, she just wanted things to be done first.
I get that, but, you know, I got my own life going on. I can't be trawling the world looking for missing people.
Even... Oh, yeah. It's hard to tell if you're joshing and doing jokes, or if you genuinely wouldn't be a little bit intrigued who your father was, who you thought was dead. Surely you'd be a little bit intrigued. And you've got a brother that you didn't know existed. Don't you want to meet him?
Not really. I don't. Should probably be a knob. He is a knob, to be honest. So would have been best if they didn't.
Fair enough. We then get the first flashback scene in the film. At this first point, did you know it was a flashback? Did you know it was the mother? I was confused as hell, I'll be honest.
I was very confused for quite a while, to be honest. I thought it was was Jean
Same.
for a bit and just gone back in. She'd gone back to the Middle East, and yeah, I was a bit confused why she was now having a kid.
Yep. I noticed the necklace because in the will reading, she's given an envelope and the necklace comes out of it. And then she's wearing the necklace then. So I'm thinking, okay, so this isn't a flashback. It seems like a flashback, but she's got the necklace, so it can't be a flashback. And I thought it was the same person. They look very similar. And I was just really confused about the timeline and stuff because I thought it was the same person, but the necklace threw me.
I can't remember noticing a necklace, but I was definitely confused.
They looked far too similar.
Yeah, and there's no old caption telling me, like, here you go,
No.
here's back. I think he probably, because having a little look at some other reviews, I think a few people had that, so I can only imagine he purposely didn't want to make it too obvious, but then I don't know why you would want... Well, that motorbike sounds like a big fart. Yeah, I don't know why he would want anyone to think that it was Jean rather than Narwhal.
Nawal. As always, we'll probably get a lot of things wrong. Oh, I don't think we've said any spoilers yet, have we?
Not really. I did say that their brother's a bit of a knob.
Yeah, no, that's not a spoiler. I don't want to do the song again. I don't like the song. I never listened to it, and I'm sure other people are skipping it. As soon as that song comes on, they're probably... I'm sick of it. So there'll be spoilers from now. I'm not doing the song anymore. If you like the song so much, go back, listen to it on one of the other ones. From this point, spoilers. Continue.
I don't remember where I was at. What was I saying?
I don't know.
So anyway, we go back to the mother's youth, and we find out what goes on with her. So she, even though she lives in the Middle East, I don't know too much about how Christianity goes on down there, but she's part of a Christian family in the Middle East, in an unnamed Middle East country. And is she with a Muslim guy? Is that why there was big issues?
I didn't fully understand who the guy was. I know they were against it. But see, at the time, I thought this was Jean. And my note was, has the sister cheated or just hooked up out of wedlock or something? And then I thought the person that kills the partner was the brother, Simon, as well. So I was really confused.
You have that is what it is, though, isn't it? She's... I don't think it's because of his religion that they go after him. It's because she's had a child out of wedlock.
And they have the whole honor killing thing.
The grandmother convinces them not to kill Narwhal, so she takes her on, and she gives birth to the child, who's then given up for adoption.
Yes, but first, before she gave it up for adoption, she gave it a tattoo. 3 little dots on the back of its foot. What I didn't understand is why the child is given up for adoption. She's sent away to start this new life. Why couldn't she have the child?
Well, they were going to kill her, and if she'd have kept the child, they'd have probably gone after her.
But she was moving away anyway for a new life.
Yeah, don't know. Where did she move? She doesn't move to Canada then, does she? Or is that later on?
I don't know where it was she moved to, but I know she goes somewhere.
I get the impression, I mean, a lot of this is because it was a week ago since I saw it, but surely there must have been, because they could have just gone and killed her at any time, there must have been some sort of... They're coming for my baby.
They just want to get involved.
Right. So they go to kill her, and the grandmother convinces them, And it's been a while since I've seen it now, so I don't know. But there must be some sort of agreement where they're like, look, we're not going to kill her, but she can't keep the baby, which would then explain why it's tattooed, because she does want to keep the baby, but she can't because her family are going to kill her if not.
It seems strange to me that she's sent away. So how would they know whether she keeps the baby or not? That's what I don't get. But I understand that that's the deal that they made.
She's given up the baby like right there and then, so then they would know for sure that the baby is gone to an orphanage because they're probably there seeing it go.
So you think she was allowed to stay in the village until she gave birth? She wasn't cast out straight away?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I don't know if it is said. Like I say, it's been a week since I've seen it, but I get the impression they probably said, look, you can have the baby, but you can't keep it. You can't keep a bastard child because it will bring great shame on our family.
Shame!
I
interrupted you then just to shout shame. I apologise.
It's all right. It's just about done.
Yeah, and then... All right. Okay. Timelines. Do we discuss notes, how they happen in the film, or chronologically, story-wise?
In the film. Otherwise it's going to confuse me even more. I'm already... I mean, like overall, I'd have a good enough grip to enjoy the film, and I liked it a great deal, but with its confusing nature and the fact I saw it a week ago, I'm not going to deal well with doing it out of order that it was shown in.
Okay. Problem is, with most of my notes, at this point, I still thought it was Jean. I forgot Jean is now creeping off in search of her child, yet she seems to be currently pregnant because she's holding her belly as she's going over that bridge. And that confused me because I thought she had just been sent off and she's pregnant, been cast away, but she's searching for a child. But yet I was lost at this point.
I clearly was confused for a lot longer because later on I've got a note that just says, was that a flash forward or back?
This is why you watch the Cool Kids Film Club reviews. We're experts. We know what we're talking about.
I've got a note here. I don't even know what it means. It says, is it her teaching a kid and shooting a guy? I don't remember any teaching kids and shooting a guy.
Yeah, she was a maths teacher, wasn't she? She had that whole scene. And then shooting the guy, that was Nawal, the mother. I think that was when I finally cottoned on that it was her. At the point where she shoots the guy. She shoots the leader of the
thing, she does, yes, I remember that. Yeah. I think that's how she gets away, isn't it?
Gets away? That's what she goes to jail for.
Oh, yes. Because that's where the photo that the daughter has is from prison, isn't it?
Oh. We are experts. We are brilliant at film reviews. Yeah. To be fair, we're not the guys that do the expert film analysis. That's Keir's bit. He'll be on later.
And there's football on. We're lads. We football.
Football, football, football. That's my favourite chant.
Yep.
What's your favourite football chant?
Oh, I know my favourite one. It's from Adam and Joe. It's the one that goes, balls, 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 footy, 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 balls, 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 football. That's my favourite chant.
See, there's far too many different words in that. General football fans wouldn't be able to remember that.
Should we get to where, because I feel like we're only about 5 minutes into the film still.
Well, no, right. She's going over this bridge and I still think it's Jean. And I've also put a note here. I feel I should know more about the country this is set in and the real world situation a bit more, military checkpoints and things, and the just situation. But after watching the film, I found out that this isn't actually set in any specific film. It was loosely based on other events from that country that I've forgotten, which you're going to tell me right now.
Jordan?
Yes, I believe so. I think that was it. So it's loosely based on that. But I don't know enough about this. I'm not culturally aware, and I feel I should be. But I don't feel that this film does a good job of explaining the situation for people who are as stupid as I am.
I don't think it needs to. I think, its main focus is being a character piece and following the journey of the twins and the mother. It's not about whatever the situation is in these countries, which is probably why he decided, not to name or actually give a country.
I'm not sure I agree. I mean, yes, it's a character piece. Yes, it's about the characters and the big reveal. But to have so much stuff about the war, I mean, she goes to jail for killing the leader. You get the whole bus scene. You get the militant groups. You get the warlord guy. There's a lot about all of this stuff going on. Yet it's never really explained.
I mean, it's just the basic. We've got the Christian militants and the Muslim militants. That's your basic conflict there, I believe.
Fair enough. It made me feel stupid. Watching the film, I felt like I didn't know enough. And I felt like I should have had to watch a documentary or something about it before watching and understanding the film.
I don't think so. I don't think you need to know anything about the play of it. It's just the mother and what she goes through. I mean, at its heart, it's about the big reveal, isn't it? It's about the journey that Jean takes to discover all of this.
So we've only get the shots of, and at this point, I don't know whether it was Jean or Nawal, but somebody going to the nursery, which is burnt down, and all the Christians were killed.
That was definitely Jean.
Okay.
Because that's she's looking, knowing that her brother had been put in a orphanage. She was looking for local orphanages and nurseries.
And this is the first time that the Christian thing is brought up as well, I believe. It's mentioned that all the Christians were killed. And then she gets on a bus by removing her cross.
So,
yeah.
And then the bus gets ambushed.
It does. And this scene, this is where I made a scene. Right, before we get on to what happens in this scene, my note after explaining what happens in the scene is, Gavin, you like some dark fucking films. The last film was Come and See. Now this, explain yourself.
I do like dark stuff. Cheers me up. Makes me feel, everything's all right here. All I've got to worry about is Harry Kane being shit. I drive a bus. Not once has anybody got on it and shot it all up and killed everybody apart from one person on it. Not once.
I want to take you back to Harry Kane. What do you mean being shit? How many goals do you want him to score?
One. I don't know what the point of this joke is. No, it's not funny.
What are you fucking talking about?
I don't get it. I don't really understand.
There's nothing to understand, Gavin. England are great. Kane is great. And he scored a hat-trick and he's brilliant.
Cool. So, yeah, the bus. Everyone... It's probably my favourite scene in the film, the bus. Very well done. Very tense.
Do you want to tell us about it then? It's your film. It's your favourite scene in the film. Tell us what happens.
Well, she's on the bus going to the next town or wherever, and she's hidden that she's a Christian, and all of a sudden the bus just takes on lots of machine gun fire. People are getting killed. She drops to the floor. Some of them get onto the roof of the bus, start shooting, and she decides to start shouting. I guess she realizes that these are Christian militants. So, or is it when she gets pulled off?
Whoa. I'm going to stop you there. You missed a few key points. One, but she's not the only person who survived. There's another mother and a very young daughter on the bus with her as well. They've survived. And there are a few brilliant scenes of them just cowering amongst loads of dead bodies, and like the little girl there just like terrorized and not looking like she's having a good time. Then when they go up on the roof of the bus, they're pouring gasoline all over it. So, I mean, you get that sudden realization of, oh shit, they can't just pretend to be dead. They're going to be burnt alive. So they then go to the opening of a bus, and that's when. Tell us what happens.
That's when Jean proclaims the truth. She's a Christian, and not to kill her. But don't they? They kill the kid and the mother, don't they? Afterwards.
Yes. So Jean says she's a Christian. She gets taken off, and then she claims that the child is hers. She says, "Oh wait, my daughter." She goes back for her, grabs her to try to save her. The mother of the daughter lets her go unwillingly, but kind of knowing that it's for her good. But yeah, they do just kill her anyway, the daughter, which I found strange. They let her take her, but then they rip her off of her, and then she's running back to her mum, and they shoot her.
I guess they, by running back to her mother, who I guess they realise isn't a Christian, they know she's not a Christian.
I feel they must have known at the point of ripping the child away from Jean.
Did they see that?
Yeah, they separate them forcefully. They take her off of her, and that's when she runs back and they shoot her.
Fair enough. Then we get after that harrowing scene, just to bring us up, cheer us up. They play some more Radiohead.
Yeah,
the cheeriest band of all time.
Yeah, we get a great shot there as well. She's just on her knees, kind of crying as the bus is burning in the background. That's a good shot. I liked that. The cinematography throughout the film is quite good, but I liked that shot especially. This is where I made my first note of this timeline is really confusing me. She is now in her mother's village calling her brother. Is this the present day? Question mark. So this was Jean, but oh my god. This is a film, if ever there was a film, that really does require 2 viewings to do a proper review of.
Yeah, I probably should have watched it again. Definitely, and having such a long time in between not in between the 2 watches, I only watched it once. But yeah, a second viewing would have helped out a great deal, because I'd have known who was being flashed back to.
See, now I understand the chronological order of events, but now reading back my notes, because they were written when I didn't understand it, I can't figure out who was who in what bit. But yeah, we'll just continue. So we now see the mother shooting the leader of a militia group. And she goes to prison for 15 years. I've kind of summarized what happens here quite a lot.
Yeah. You already mentioned that, haven't you? And then when she's in prison that she's raped by her captor?
Yes. So she was tortured and raped and fell pregnant in jail. This is where the twins were conceived during this. So there's a guy called Abu Turek. Abu Turek. Yeah. He's this torturer guy who he loves a bit of torture, doesn't he? He's It's just what his bag is. Everyone needs a hobby. His is torturing and raping prison people.
Yep, that's what he
No.
does. He was a child soldier, and was taken on by this group and groomed to be a torturer.
He was indeed. And Nawal, whilst in prison, gained the nickname of the woman that sings. And this is because she used to sing to drown out the cries of the other women who were being tortured and raped. So she wasn't the only one.
That's right. And then we get some Radiohead played backwards.
I didn't know it was Radiohead, but I did notice the song being played backwards. What was the relevance of the backwards song? Go.
Don't know. Maybe because is that the end of her suffering? So it's like she's going backwards now. She's going back to Canada, even though she's never been before.
Why was it the end of her suffering?
Well, she's had the kids, or she's been raped and made pregnant. So she's off now. She's not in prison anymore. I don't know. I'm stretching. I don't know why it was played backwards.
Yeah, I would say it probably wasn't the end of her suffering. I think if you're going to go through 15 years in jail of being raped and tortured, there might be some post-traumatic stress and stuff.
True, but like the end of direct trauma.
Okay. So then Simon and the solicitor guy come out.
I don't know where you bring your brother. You're like, oh, I nearly got killed here. Out you come. You didn't even want to come in the first place anyway, but now I nearly died and shit's really gone down with mother. Out you come.
I mean, what, would you rather go through it alone?
No, I'd go home.
Yeah, but you would have went home at the beginning, wouldn't you? You weren't very invested in
I'd have stayed home.
Yeah, exactly. I think Jean was quite invested in the truth.
Well, he goes out there to bring her back, doesn't he? It's more him protecting her. He's wanting to bring her back home.
You are correct. And we get a scene where some kids are running through a city, hiding between cars, and there's just a guy shooting at them, which at the time confused the hell out of me. Did you piece together anything later on as to who this guy is?
No, I didn't. But haven't you missed out the fact that she's given birth to the twins now, and they almost get thrown in the river? They get told to dispose of the children.
I did miss that out. I don't know where that happens in terms of chronological order, but tell us about it.
Well, yeah, she gives birth in the prison, and I don't remember who it is. One of the guards, I expect, says to get rid of them. And they're about to be thrown into the river, I believe. I can't remember who saves them.
There's some lady there who I didn't know who she was, but she says, "Don't, I'll take them," and just say you've chucked them in the river.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who she was or how they reconnect with Narwhal after she gets out of prison.
No, I don't recall.
Again, a good film reviewer would have watched this twice and done research properly. So yeah, the sniper rifle thing. I asked you a question. Do you know who that was?
No, was it Abu Turek?
It was Abu Turek. Because when Simon does go out to the Middle East, he's convinced to go for some tea, isn't he? That's what they say. They say, go drink tea. They'll know you're up to no good if you drink some tea. And this warlord guy, he finds anyone if you're drinking tea, and he'll find you. And then you can talk to him about this Abu guy. It's not the tea. It's more the fact of mentioning the woman that sings. But for some reason, they make a big deal out of the tea. When he does meet the warlord guy, the warlord explains that he was trained as a sniper rifle. And that He was trained as a sniper rifle. No, he was the actual rifle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man of
Fun
many
fact.
talents.
No, he was trained as a sniper. So I presume that shot earlier was him just shooting kids in the field.
Well, got practice, haven't you?
Indeed. Again, everyone needs a hobby. So have you got any more notes before we get into final stuff?
I've got a note, but I don't know what it means. It says,
Okay.
1+1 scene, ? Don't get her gasp, realising the brother is in prison? I don't even remember what any of that is.
I've got a very similar note. Mine says 1+1 scene, ... what the fuck, ? It's my exact writing. So very similar to yours, but I do understand it now. So it's after he's met with a warlord. He's then in this hotel room. I think it's a hotel room. And his sister comes in and he's looking very traumatized. It's because he's come to the realization of what has happened to his mother. That's why he's in this traumatic state. And the 1+1 scene is about the letters and the identities of the father and the brother. I didn't understand it at the time, but thinking back to it, I pieced it together. Yeah, but it did confuse me somewhat at how easily Jean pieces it together. Just from 1+1 doesn't make 1. It can't make 1. Can it make 1? And she just goes, like, how did she?
They're twins, aren't they?
Yeah.
So twins have a connection.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's probably, a little bit of a reference to that they don't need things spelt out to each other, because it's an opportunity to make both of them realise what's going on and still keep us a little in the dark.
Mm-hmm. So then we get another flashback scene of Narwhal back at the swimming pool, which is where she eventually dies. And it's of her swimming. And then she comes to the side of the pool and sees somebody's legs. And she notices on the back of her foot is the tattoo that she gave to her firstborn child. She follows the legs up. And it's some guy that we don't know who it is at this point. Who is it, Gavin?
It's her son, isn't it? It's their brother, her son.
Yay, it's a happy ending. She's found him. They're reunited. Yeah.
All good. The end.
But she recognizes the face. How does she recognize the face? Because she has never seen him as an adult, has she?
Well, she has, because he raped her and she had the twins.
But it's her son.
I know. Imagine that. What a bugger.
I'm going to ask you again, Gavin. Why do you make me watch these movies?
It's, I don't know. I didn't know it would be such a downbeat movie. I just wanted to pick a film in my never-ending quest to watch every film on the IMDb top 250. So I picked one that I hadn't seen. I like the director. So there it is. It's your fault.
My fault? Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I'm sorry to everyone at home who may have watched this because of this man.
They probably thoroughly enjoyed it.
We're getting back to that debate of enjoyment in movies, aren't we? But after seeing the tattoo and then following the leg up, seeing that it's her son and the rapist and both the same person and chaos and mayhem and she has a stroke, I believe it's explained to say, and she dies pretty much on the spot before explaining anything, before doing anything. She dies there and then at the pool. Doesn't she?
Don't know. I know she has a stroke. I didn't recall her dying, but she might have.
I thought she did. I know she's like Jean sees her, and I think it's Jean, because it was so early in the film. I can't remember, but I think it's Jean finds her and brings her to hospital or calls the ambulance or whatever, and she dies. So my question was, if she does die of a stroke in that moment, when did she write the letters?
She probably hadn't had them written a while.
No, because she didn't know that the son and the rapist were the same people until that moment of the pool.
Didn't she? Well,
No, that's what the shock of that, of knowing that they're the same person, that's what
I just
killed her.
assumed the shock. I assumed the shock was because he was now in Canada with her rather than her finding out.
No, I don't think so.
Why would she send him on some wild goose chase around the Middle East if he was right there?
Well, because that's where the truth lies. Although, I want to get onto that in a second as to why she does it. But, first of all, when did she write the letters?
I assumed she'd written them before because I thought she knew.
I don't think she did. You're being tortured and raped by this guy in a prison. You're not going to see whether or not he's got a tattoo on the back of his foot. And that's her only way of recognizing him.
Mother's instinct.
I recognize that cock.
Well, that's going in, isn't it? You're definitely keeping that in, I can tell.
I don't know if I will. I'm not sure of that. But what do you mean by mother's instinct? I mean, what part of him are you suggesting she's recognizing?
His face.
But no, because she only saw him as a baby.
Yeah, but kids turn out to look like their mothers and fathers.
No, I'm not having it. I think she noticed a tattoo. She thought, oh, it's him! Happiness. United. Like, I've been looking for you for all my life. Follows the legs up, and we as an audience experience it at the same time as she does. Oh my God. That's him. Let us know in the comments. Keir, you're the only person who watches this. Let us know what you thought.
I'm seeing if anybody's brought it up. Can't see anything just by putting when did she write the letters.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. That'll be in the comments, won't it? All the people. They'll have a whole back and forth. Thou comment, will comment. It'll be a whole like communal thing. Okay, so Gavin, why did the mother feel it necessary that her children find out the truth? I get that it's integral to the storyline of the movie, but put yourself in the mother's shoes. Why do you want your kids to know all of this stuff?
Yeah, I'd probably leave it. But I don't know. I guess she's a Christian, so maybe she's like putting it in their hands to decide whether they want to forgive.
Forgive what? I mean, her only sin was married or getting pregnant out of wedlock, wasn't it? I mean,
I'm talking about forgiving the brother/father.
Oh, I see. No. So what, you think that they did the whole letters thing and the will and everything was so that the twins could have a meaningful relationship with their brother-father?
Not a meaningful one, but to come to some kind of conclusion rather than being left in the dark about their heritage.
But in their eyes, they've got a father who was dead and that they never knew. Yeah, that is probably maybe unresolved stuff that maybe they think about once every 10 years. I don't know how often, but they probably think about it occasionally. But I don't think that's causing them daily trauma. They didn't even know the brother existed. Would it not be kinder to let them carry on believing that that was their existence?
I mean, after all that she's been through, the mother isn't she a little off? Doesn't that, because she works as a secretary for a guy? Doesn't he mention that she's a bit not quite normal?
Don't remember. Don't
I
recall
might be
that.
wrong, obviously, but I mean, it could be put down to her mental state in her later life, especially if she somehow did write these letters after seeing him, but I'm not sure where the letter writing fit in. Because she's got the letters to the lawyer anyway, hasn't she? So she couldn't have written them after that, because she would have had to have then written her whole will. So she's already done her will. She's already got her will written, and the letters are part of that will. So it must have been done before the stroke. There's no possible way. All things that could be answered with a second viewing, probably.
Yes, I do feel that that would have benefited. But that's what we've got Keir for. We discuss the film, say all the bits that we don't understand, and then Keir comes along and he's the expert.
There you go.
So
you see what he said then.
I think we probably need to. Do I have to do anything?
What do you mean? We're going to shout out to Keir?
Yeah, to get Keir here, do I have to do anything?
You have to say his name 3 times in a mirror.
I thought there was something that rhymes with Keir.
Cheer. Give a cheer to Keir.
Yeah! Woo! Go Keir. Go Keir.
To Keir.
Incendies. Well, thank you very much, Gavin Ryes. Hot on the blooded, bruised and battered heels of Come and See, Gavin appears to have made it his life's mission to eradicate any sort of optimism, hope or belief in humanity from my soul, setting about putting out the tiny little flickers of happiness light by light. Yep. Thanks for that. Incendies is another soul-destroying piece of work. That, although a little less raw than the horrors of Come and See, and a little more contrived in its storytelling, does nonetheless lay bare the monstrosities of war and the horrendous capabilities of mankind. Opening with one of Radiohead's best post-OK Computer tracks, You and Whose Army is a deft choice by director Denis Villeneuve, and it delivers a particularly haunting punch when images of young boys being prepared to be inducted into the militia are peppered across our screens. For me, it allowed a true sense of dread to slowly creep over me as this version of a normality of life slipped into my cosy front room and burrowed deep down into my consciousness. Yep, it levels you. It's kind of like, hello? Cooey. Yep. Hello. Come down from wherever you are. We're down here. Here. Come join us. Yeah, we're starting from down here. From here, the narrative ramps up about 7,000 notches. Within the first 10 minutes, Incendies fires murder, honour killings, death threats, forced adoptions, banishments, exiles, and the tattooing of a newborn. Yeah. In 10 minutes. It's a lot to take. I can quite comfortably say that none of these characters could be said to be living the life of Riley. Unless, of course, the life of Riley is akin to stripping the skin off of your shoulders, peeling it over your face, and shredding your head across a disc sander. And if that was the case, well, the Lightning Seeds wouldn't have made such a song and dance about it. Now, we are never explicitly told where the bulk of the movie is set. We are just left to go along with the idea that it is in some unnamed Middle Eastern country, which, if I'm being honest, could be seen as a little bit troublesome. Oh, hey, it's in the Middle East. I mean, come on, take your pick. You know how it is. And doing this does kind of strip a multitude of countries of their identities, which is possibly at best xenophobic and at worst a bit bloody racist. However, on the flip side, you could argue that to identify with a particular conflict, ongoing or not, would mean that the movie would have to position itself on a particular side. And honestly, this movie never really sets out to be overtly political. And by remaining mute on the geographical location, it avoids the need to get bogged down with this detail. It can focus solely on highlighting the fires of war and the issues caused by conflicting beliefs, whatever they may be. I suppose I should touch on the main synopsis of the film. A twin brother and sister are tasked in their recently deceased mother's will to hunt down their estranged father, whom they previously believed dead, and their brother, whom they never knew existed. Whom? It is whom. Who? Yeah, I'm sticking with whom. Come at me, English lit geeks. It's a solid premise, and one that brings with it the old piecing together of the story from flashbacks hullabaloo. Furthermore, under the careful gaze of director Villeneuve, the building of these narrative blocks is executed majestically. For example, as the daughter retreads the footsteps of her mother, played wonderfully by Melissa Désormeaux-Poulin and Lubna Azabal respectively, it really is like we are walking in the footsteps of ghosts. Not least because the movie is cast so perfectly that the two women bear an almost uncanny striking resemblance. Through this journey of discovery, Jean, the daughter, locates her mother's old hometown. And where bombs once fell on regular occasion, now it is all smiles as she is welcomed in by the remaining residents, thus indicating the surface brevity of history and how ignorance to our own past can overwhelm and blind us. Jean knows nothing of the struggles of her lineage, and indeed, to quite the extent her mother suffered. She is, however, soon to find out that something is awry, as the smiles quickly turn into disgust and anger as she reveals her ancestry. Whatever we are to discover, the fires still burn deep for the families still living in its pyre. The movie picks through the past as if sifting through the ashes of history, searching for the teeth that caused so much bite. And as we uncover the truth, we are drawn to the understanding that these years saw a series of actions and reprisals that followed each other with merciless logic. And, as any fireman will tell you, this is very much the action of flames, fires, or incendie, if the fireman was French. This movie is ram-packed full of ugly imagery, disturbing violence, and grit your teeth and squint your eyes moments of unsettlement. The burning of an orphanage, the beating of a pregnant belly, that sniper scene. Yeah, there is a lot of pain here. Not least, the final twist. And ouches! It is an agonising one. And, if you're willing to go along with it, it could leave you sparked out for days. I kind of found, however, that although the reveal was jaw-dropping and an almighty thwack in the emotive gut, I kind of half expected it to come along with a little bit of an EastEnders dun 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 dun. It appears a little soapy, a little, contrived, as if the entire movie's purpose was to reveal this pre-thought conclusion. And again, look, it works. I just think it somehow kind of lessens the effect of the rest of the movie that we've just seen, which up until this point had me fully hooked anyway. Furthermore, once everything is laid out in front of us, and indeed Jean and the brother Simon, he's not a monk, you may, like me, wonder what kind of perverse reasoning the mother, Noelle, had for sending her surviving children on this rather gruesome journey of discovery. I'm sure that if we all put our heads together, we could probably come up with a gentler way of informing them, a more humane way, a softer approach to getting the truth across. I don't know, like off the top of my head, putting it in a letter? Nonetheless, there is a lot to take away from this movie. For example, now bear with me while I put my teaching cap on. In most ancient cultures, fires were believed to be living entities, breathing. I guess, scientifically, they still are. They move with logic. And if you stop the oxygen, you kill the fire. They need to breathe to survive. They need fuel. History gives them the latter. The present gives them the former. But what does the future give? It is one of life's eternal ironies that at their core, all religions teach peace, love, understanding, generosity, patience, humanity, morality, but that so often the belief in them can somehow lead to the complete opposite. And thus, our laws, all laws, the measures in which we as a species hold ourselves to account, are created, based and entrenched in violent conflict, contrary to what those very laws stand for. Sadly, religions will continue to spar, to fight, and in doing so twist scripture into ugly moulds of human ambition. Ultimately, all religions have a right to exist. I guess it just would be nice if we didn't have to witness hell on earth because so many people seemingly disagree with that statement. Life. It's a complicated bastard. Let's switch hats. Laters.
That was him. That was Keir Mills. We didn't state earlier, but he lives in my shed. What did you think of his segment this week?
Well, he's quite spot on, isn't he, about the ending, especially, and just the idea of whether there was an easier way to tell everybody, but of course then you wouldn't have a film.
Well, yeah, we hinted at that earlier. He mentioned the location. What did you feel about that and the importance of where it was set?
Like I said earlier, I think that because the film is centred on these characters and their plight, that I'm okay with it not being a named country. I can understand the issues behind that, especially with how complicated things are in various Middle Eastern countries. But if it was a film a little more focused on those troubles, then I could understand, you need to say where, but I don't think it's needed. I think we're on these characters, we're on their journey, and it's okay. It's all good, man.
It's all good in the hood. I don't think it is all good in the hood. I kind of agree with Keir to the point where if there are issues going on in other countries and these issues are replicated in this film, it's loosely based on the struggles and the actual political movements in certain countries. By not naming the country and not drawing people's attention to it, is that not an issue?
I don't think so, because like I said, I think it's only using these issues as a backdrop. It's not they're not a part of the story at the forefront.
Yeah, but I think if you're making a film, you have an opportunity to enlighten people about certain things, and I felt particularly unenlightened when watching the film. It didn't really explain much to me, and I'm quite dumb, but
Well, I mean, like he made with Sicario, as much as I didn't enjoy it, that was a film about like the drug issues on the Mexican-US border, and obviously it names the US and Mexico, and it's about that. Whereas this is about a family and their dark past and secrets coming out. So, don't need a named country and a history of what's going on there.
Fair enough. I also made a note whilst Keir was mentioning the people who are in it. We didn't really mention the cast.
Because we can't pronounce them.
Yes, exactly. My note here is that Keir is able to pronounce everyone's names very well.
I can't pronounce. I get confused whether it's schedule or schedule. So
fair enough. But to be fair, that's what Keir's here for. He's our knowledgeable man.
yes.
So
yes.
there's just one thing left to do. That's to pick next week's film. Oh yeah, shit. Some final thoughts. Yeah,
Yes.
do that. Go on, Em. You go first.
Okay, well, I'm a big fan of Denis Villeneuve, and I thought this was a really good film. I enjoyed it throughout. I was confused with timelines, with who was getting flashed back to who, but at the time, I took that to be my own stupidity. And now that you've agreed, sure it is our stupidity. So I think a second watch would definitely improve things a great deal. It looks absolutely amazing. There's some fantastic scenes in it. The bus scene is very harrowing and extremely tense. I love the use of Radiohead. Radiohead's always good, although, of course, the best use of Radiohead of all time is Father Ted. Doesn't beat that. The ending, the reveal, I didn't see it coming at all, and it was quite hard hitting. But thinking about it a little more, it is very strange that the mother puts them on this big quest rather than just telling them. Obviously, as we've said a few times, doesn't leave a film then. But to quote Keir, is a little contrived. But I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. And I think I will watch it again one day to see, get a little more from it. I know I'll know what's going on a bit more, and who knows, may improve. But 8 out of 10 from the G-ster. That's how I'd like to be referred to now. Thank you.
The G-ster,
Yeah.
like the G string. Can I call you the G string?
No. I used, back when I worked in a pub in London, everyone called me G-Force. So maybe I'll stick with G-Force.
Did everyone call you G-Force, Gavin, or did you make that up?
No, actually, it did become a little bit of a thing once. G-Force. One guy who I still talk to from my London years still calls me G-Force. But I did come up with it. I came up with my own name.
Okay, I mean, things are starting to fall into place. Suddenly becomes more believable. Yeah, my final thoughts. I agree somewhat. There are some harrowing scenes, some excellent cinematography. The bus scene, as you stated earlier, was the standout scene for me. I mean, yeah, there's so many elements of it. Just the shooting into the innocent people, the hiding and cowering between the dead bodies, the little girl who's in this situation and the look of fear on her face. It's just shot brilliantly. It looks superb. The acting's good. And then when the child is ripped away from Jean and she's running back to her mother and shot in the back of her head, that was my "what the fuck am I watching" moment. But not in a bad way. These films are not entertaining, Gavin. They're not enjoyable, but it was a good. It had its good moments. As a film, like you've stated, I feel it was a bit too confusing in terms of the timelines and the keep cutting back and forth and having the mother and the daughter look so similar. I felt was detrimental to the story. I feel watching it again would help and may increase the rating. But for now, I think I am settled on a 7 out of 10. Show 7. You gave it 8. 7 and 8 is 15. 15 halved to do about 10 as an average is 7.5 out of 10. That is the official CKFC rating. 7.5 out of 10, which puts it in at number 9, just above Night of the Creeps, Circus of the Dead, A Ghost Waits, and Soul.
That's not bad.
So, only one thing left to do, and that is to pick next week's film. There are 35 entries. Pick a number. Gavin Ryes, go.
21.
Close, but no cigar. This is number 18, which is Satinder Chambers' pick of Salaam Bombay from 1988, I think.
Yes, I know nothing about it.
Neither do I. Isn't it in the top 100, though, on IMDb?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. That was the only thing I knew about the film other than the title. And I think it's 1988. And I thought it was in the top 100.
No, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Yeah. Don't know then. But it's a film. I know that. And we're going to watch it.
Yes, we are.
Cool.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the Cool Kids Film Club Podcast. Watch films with